بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So we're on hadith number 66. Muslims are brothers. And this is something that we're going to really have to get an understanding of. So Allah Muslim. Well, first we'll go over the hadith and then we'll talk about what we need to understand. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تحاسدوا ولا تناجشوا ولا تباغضوا ولا تدابروا ولا يبيع بعضكم على بيع بعض وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يحقره ولا يخذله التقوى ها هنا ويشير إلى صدره 3 مرات بحسب امرئ من الشر أن يحقر أخاه المسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه رواه Muslim. So in this hadith reported on the authority of Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La tahasadu," like don't be jealous of one another. You know, because all of these, if you notice, tahasadu, tanajishu, tabaghadu, tadabaru, all of these are on the sigha of what? Tafa'alu. Tafa'ala, it means to do these things between each other. To do them to each other. So la tahasadu, it means do not become jealous of one another. The hasad, it becomes what? Most of it stems from what?
مرض القلب.
It's a marad al-qalb, but it stems from his hatred. Because al-hasad is that the person, he wants the isqat al-ni'mah from the person. He wants the ni'mah to be taken away from a person, even if he doesn't get it. You know, like for example, if it's a brother and he's got a nice car, he wants him to lose the car. He wants him to get in a crash. He doesn't want his car. Even if he doesn't want it, he just wants him to lose that blessing. Because instead of him just acting like a real person, working, saving his money, and getting a car just like him and doing the things like him, no. He wants to sit back and hate on other people for the things that they have because he doesn't have them. But he's not doing anything to get them either, because you notice these people, the people of jealousy, they're the people of procrastination, they're the people of laziness. You know, all they have to do is work and get it just like everybody else got it. But they spend all their time with the hatred and the envy and the jealousy, and then while other people are out working and trying to get it, they don't have time for that. So this is where it stems from. It stems from that foolishness, that foolish behavior. You want it, you go get it. You don't have to sit there and hate what other people have. If some person has more knowledge than you, you can go get the same knowledge. What's stopping you? Go get up and do it. Work hard and do what he did, or work harder than him and do more than he did. You know, if you really want to do something, then surpass him. Surpass him. Don't sit there and just be jealous and want, I hope he loses everything. I hope he gets in a car crash. I hope a plane flies and lands on his house. What type of person is this? This is a type of life to live. Sadly enough, nowadays, this is the state of the majority of the people, because they don't want to do anything for themselves. All right, so he said, وَلَا تَحَاسَدُوا وَلَا تَنَاجَشُوا. Tanajush means what? Huh?
You did?
No.
And about pricing?
It's like if you're at an auction. So what you do is you hire a person, you get a person. Like I tell Ibrahim, like, look, you go and you bid on this product. Ibrahim has no intentions of buying it. What is it? What am I getting Ibrahim to do? Because I'm trying to sell this thing. And I want to get the highest price I can for it, right? So every time that this person says, you find a person that really wants this, and you go into a bidding war with them to get the what? To get the price raised, but you have no intentions of buying it. His job is just to get the price. Then I pay him some of the money once the person buys it. Maybe I break him off something. But Ibrahim himself has no intentions of buying it. It's just the whole purpose is to get the price raised up and make the person pay a higher price for it. So this is tanajush. So this is not permissible. It's not permissible. وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا. And don't despise each other. And this goes back to لَا تَحَاسَدُوا. All right, لَا تَبَاغَضُوا. Because the biggest problem amongst Muslims today is this. A Muslim will make another mistake, will make a mistake with his brother, and the mistake might even be dunyawi. It might be something real petty. And then now he stops giving him salams, stops giving him his rights. If the brother dies within this time that he's got this extreme hatred for him, he won't even go to his janazah. Well, you know, and this is the type of behavior that we're seeing amongst Muslims now because of what? It's petty things. Petty dunyawi things. They can't put the stuff to the side to think about, it's not even deen issues, but then they turn it into a deen issue. And it's a personal issue. You don't like him for whatever reason. Maybe you divorced your wife and then he came along and married her. So what? Who cares? You're not gonna give him salams. You're gonna hate him because of something like this. This is all personal. This is not deen. But then they turn it into like a deen issue. Or maybe whatever, maybe he owes him money, or maybe whatever the case is. Maybe a lot of the times it's because of people spreading lies. Oh, you know what he said about you, and this, all this type of instigation. And then the people stop talking to each other. Whenever you have these problems between brothers, you can always find a little snake somewhere in the middle. You can find a little namam, a little person that goes back and he's running between the people, listening to this and taking the khabar of that person and taking the khabar of that person. You can always find this little snake, this little rat in the middle of everything. So Allah musta'an. People need to wake up and stop. Like I said, these are not deen issues. These are personal issues. You don't stop giving the brother his rights because you have a personal issue with him. So this is from a tabaghud. وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. Tadabaru means what? Each person, when they come together, instead of giving salams, each person, they shows his brother his back. His dubur, his back. So he turns his back to him. This is tadabur. Instead of giving him salams, he shows him his back. So basically he ignores him. And just like he doesn't give him salams, he doesn't talk to him. If he sees him, he walks down the other way just to avoid him. So he said, وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. So don't do this either. وَلَا يَبِعْ بَعْضُكُمْ عَلَى بَيْعِ بَعْضٍ. What is this?
How about you don't lower the price to everyone else?
No.
Like your shop.
The Prophet ﷺ said, البائعان بالخيار ما لم يتفرقا. All right, that the two sellers, the seller and the buyer, they're بخيار. That means that they have a choice. ما لم يتفرقا. If they agreed on a price, and then they tafarraqa, and then they left and they parted company, what does that mean? That means that now it's a binding contract. Khalas. So I sit with Ibrahim, and I say, Ibrahim, I'm going to sell you 1,000 bags of rice. The 40-pound bags of rice. I'm going to sell you 1,000 bags. And each bag, I'm going to sell it to you, I don't know, $30, let's just say. I don't know, because you're the Restaurant Depot guy. You probably know the price. But just an example. I'm going to sell it to you for $30. And you say, sounds good. And you get up and you leave, which means what?
You agree.
You'd agree. Khalas, that's it. It's binding now. I have the bags. Now you have to come up with the money. As soon as you leave, here comes Hamza. All right. Hamza's like, hey, Ibrahim, come over here. Let me drink some tea. How much did he offer you? He said, how many bags did I say? 1,000? He said he's going to sell me 1,000 bags of 40-pound bags of rice at $30 a piece. And Hamza says, I'll tell you what, man, I'll give it to you for 25 a piece. What did he just do? Yeah, this is, we have an agreement. And now you want to go and make him change his mind from the agreement that we have.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah, it's haram jiddan. That's haram jiddan. That's dhulm to the other person. So that's major, yeah.
Because they had a verbal contract. It was a contract and this person came to break that oath. Not that oath, but that.
No, he's trying to convince him to break the contract to buy from him now, cheaper price. Because he's trying to just steal the business from the guy. No, that's haram. What better way to destroy brotherhood than to do these things? Jealousy destroys brotherhood. This undercutting and all this stuff destroys brotherhood. This despising of each other destroys brotherhood. Turning our backs and not, I ain't talking to him, and then showing him your back destroys brotherhood. All right, al-bay' ala bay' akhi, what? Destroys brotherhood. All right, and he said, After this, the Prophet ﷺ said, وَكُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا, and be, O servants of Allah, brothers. Be brothers to one another. Don't do these things. Don't act like this. This is not the behavior of a believer to his brother believer. These are the behaviors, these are the traits that you see from the Jews and the Christians. These are not the traits of a Muslim. These are not, we don't learn these traits from Islam. We don't learn jealousy and hatred and envy and all these. These are from Iblis. You know, and we see these traits amongst the people, mostly amongst the Jews and the Christians. You know, you see it all throughout. All you got to do is just go through social media and you're going to see what? All of this. All of it on a regular basis. So Allahumma musta'an. So he said, Al-Muslimu akhul Muslim. A Muslim is a brother to another Muslim, which means what? A brotherhood does not exist outside of what we have. We do not have like, oh, he's my brother because we're the same race, or oh, he's my brother because we're from the same tribe. No, if our brotherhood is only based on what? On deen and deen alone, nothing else. You know, you don't say, you know, I'm not going to go up to a kafir and say, hey, what's up, my brother? You ain't my brother, you're a kafir. I don't care who you are. I don't care if I grew up with you, if I went to school with you, if you were my neighbor. I got dudes that, you know, I grew up around.
I personally, I mean, I get, because that's funny how you said that. It's a dude, you know, I see now kind of on regular a little bit. But he always be like, oh, yeah, my brother. I don't want to sound like I'm disrespectful or anything. Tell him to cut it out, but you know, it just always throw me off.
You just tell him my brothers are the Muslims. Are you Muslim? Khalas,
yeah,
you know. That's it, because that's the only akhuwah. The only brotherhood is the brotherhood of Islam. All this other foolishness, wallah, it's just what you call sloganeering. You know, just saying slogans.
Zip code. You're my brother because of my zip code. Same zip code.
Craziness. He said, you know, al-Muslim akhul Muslim. So the Muslim is a brother to another Muslim. La yavlimuhu. He doesn't oppress him. La yahkiruhu. He doesn't look down on him. You know, he doesn't, you know, belittle him. Wala yakhdhuluhu. And he doesn't abandon him in his time of need. Whether that need be something financial, or whether that need be some type of some enemy attacking him, and you go and say, oh man, may Allah help you, and you leave him just to get beaten up, you know, by the enemies of Allah. No, you come to him in his assistance, even if it means that both of you are going to die, or both of you are going to end up going to the hospital. But how can you rest at night when you sit there and watch your brother getting trampled on and you do nothing? But Malik, save it for after this, because this is not the live stream. So. All right. So he said, taqwa ha huna. He said, taqwa is what? Ha huna. وَيُشِيرُ إِلَى صَدْرِهِ ثَلَاثَ مَرَّاتٍ. So he did that 3 times. He pointed to his chest that this is where taqwa is. Taqwa is in the heart. You know, that fear of Allah that causes you to do the righteous, you know, to carry out his commands and stay away from his prohibitions. It starts in the heart and then it goes out onto the limbs. بِحَسْبِ إِمْرِئٍ مِّنَ الشَّرِّ أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ الْمُسْلِمِ. It's enough evil for a person to despise and look down on his Muslim brother. That's enough evil. You don't need to do anything else. That's sufficient of evil. Everything else you do is just increasing the evil that you do. And we should not despise and look down on nobody, no matter what the situation is. If there are brothers and we see something like his situation is, you know, not, how can you say, not good, we don't despise him, look down on him, unless he's, you know, well, I guess, you know, depends on the situation, right? Because you got certain people that are very stubborn. You try to advise them and they just continue on in their stubborn ways, but you're still not looking down on them and despising them. But you might get angry with them and you might want, you know, start to get rough with him because he's not listening to advice and being stubborn and doing things that you know that are destroying him. But, you know, subhanAllah, you still want good for him. You still want to make dua for him. You still want, you know, you want the person to accept the guidance and you want him to act right. And this is the way that we should be with each other. But that hatred and messes up the heart.
Yeah, it's like tough love and everything.
And I'm looking at
no, but like tough love and everything. It's like I personally have to figure out how to go about with that, because sometimes I may look like I'm the one that's being the problem over you know, when it's something of that sort. You know, like if I'm constantly like my father, you know, a lot of people, they not with on a daily basis 24/7. So it be sometimes where I be a little, I'll come to my father different, not like respectful, but like on a different type of tone, and but they may not know how how he is sometimes. So I get
No, but I'm saying in the end, you still want good for him. Even if sometimes you get a little rough with him, but you still want good for him. You still hope the best for him. You still.
But that's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
All right. بحسب امرئ من الشر يحقر أخاه المسلم. كل المسلم على المسلم حرام. So every Muslim to another Muslim is haram. Like it's impermissible. He has these inviolable rights. Not to be transgressed against. Damahu wa malahu wa araduhu. So his blood, you don't spill his blood. All right, you don't do anything to cause him harm like that. Wa malahu, you don't take his money unlawfully by cheating him, deceiving him, stealing from him, or doing anything like that. Wa araduhu, and you don't do anything that causes him any problems with his honor. You don't dishonor him in any way by spreading lies about him. Or even if he commits sins, you don't go out and publicly just, hey man, Fulan's over there doing this and doing this, unless there's a reason for it. I mean, if it's just little personal sins, just leave it. Give him advice and leave it alone. Even if you know that the brother's doing wrong, you don't need to go out and, publicize his sins. And what he's doing now is a danger to the Muslims, and that's a whole nother story. That has to be done, and that's the part of this deen. But as long as it's just him oppressing himself and doing sins for himself, leave it alone. Give him advice. You don't go out and cause these types of things. You spread lies about him or publicize his sins and his faults and all these types of things to dishonor him. Because all of these things destroy the brotherhood. And we have to protect these rights. But Allah Mustaan, like I said, man, we live in some bad times. Wallahi, it's better to live in the mountains away from people now, man. SubhanAllah. وإلى سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك